My name is Jackie. I'm 81 years old and still live by myself in my own house. One of my daughters and my son live in town. My son is only 10 minutes away. Anytime I have a problem, one of them comes to help right away. Now, my youngest daughter, well, she lives about 50 miles away, but she comes over once a week to help me with my laundry and my household chores and, you know. Over the years, I've seen many specialists, and every one of them's told me I have many health problems. Well, for instance, high blood pressure. I take pills for that so it stays in control. Now, my doctor wanted me to take a pill for my cholesterol, but I won't take that anymore. It just makes my pain worse, and I feel lousy all the time. Forget it. Well, now let's see here. Another problem is arthritis. I've had it for years. My doctor says it's the kind that causes lots of pain in my bones. I also have trouble with dribbling. I have to wear Depends. And I get a lot of infections in my urine. And when I get the infections, I can't remember things. I get so nervous. Once when I got a urine infection, this was a few years ago, I fell in my home 3 times in one day. I had to call my daughter to come and help me. I was okay, it's just I kept falling and tripping, and so of course they dragged me to the hospital and they ran so many tests, but never found anything. Well, except for the urine infection. Another time, I drove my car around town for a long time. My daughter told me I drove for over 6 hours. This would have been some time ago. Gas prices were a lot lower then. Well, really, it wasn't a laughing matter. All I remember was heading out the door for a physical therapy appointment. The next thing I knew, a police officer had stopped me and told me that I was driving the wrong way on a one-way street. Silly one-way streets. They really ought to be outlawed. Oh, well, they had to call my daughter and to come and get me. Oh, it was pretty bad. Not only did I have to go to the hospital, but from there I was transferred to a rehab center and a nursing home. I stayed there. Well, it felt like forever. Eventually I made it back home and was doing remarkably well on my own. Well, until the recycling accident. You see, I went outside to bring in the recycling bin, and when I bent over, I fell into the bin. I broke my nose, cut my face. I don't even remember falling. Maybe I passed out. My nosy neighbor, that Mildred, well, she witnessed the whole thing and called 911. I needed stitches under my eye, and they had to do a scan to make sure I hadn't fractured my eye. Thank goodness it wasn't fractured. Then they did a whole bunch of tests to check my heart, hoping to find out why I passed out. Couldn't find a doggone thing wrong with me. Modern medicine. And I almost forgot. It was 2008, I think it was March. I was changing my clothes in my bedroom when I tripped over the comforter and fell. I knew I was hurt pretty bad because I couldn't even get up. Thank goodness Tom, my handyman, heard me yelling and screaming, so he called 911. Evidently, I fractured my left leg and right arm really bad. The doctor explained that the bone was all crumbled and he would have to put rods and pins in to hold it together. I guess I bled a lot. I needed 4 pints of blood during that hospital stay. I had to go back to rehab and stayed for 4 months before I could walk again. It was rough. I couldn't put any weight on my leg, and I was in a dreadful wheelchair for a long time. And wouldn't you know it, I got another urine infection. Every time they put a catheter in me, that happens. And then I get confused. My daughter told me that this time I was really confused. I guess I lost a couple of weeks, because I don't remember the hospital at all, or even the first couple of weeks in rehab. I wasn't able to go home until I could prove to them that I could walk on my own and care for myself. My dear friend Betsy stayed with me for about 6 months until I was well again. I was doing pretty well, but over time my legs started hurting more and actually started to bow out. The doctor told me that the rods and pins were coming loose and had to be replaced, or I might lose my leg. They had to go in and replace my bone with someone else's and put new screws to hold it in place. I don't remember much except for the awful pain after the surgery. I always seem to get so confused after every surgery. Well, naturally, I went back to rehab, this time for 3 months. When I went home, my oldest daughter, Julie, she's the one that lives 4 hours away, she came to stay with me for a couple of weeks to make sure I would be okay. Living on my own and all. Oh, I do enjoy having her here, but she makes me eat big meals. I have to force myself to eat when she's here, and honestly, I can't wait for her to leave, so I can just go back to my pretzels and my fruit and chocolate ice cream. These days, my pain is, well, tolerable. If I take the pain pills, my son won't let me drive. And I have places to go. The library, the grocery store, the video store. I'm busy. At times, I have trouble falling asleep. So I read until I get sleepy. Oh, sometimes that doesn't happen till 3 a.m. I also have to set the alarm during the night, so I get up to go to the bathroom. The last thing I want to do is wake up in a wet bed in the morning. If I had to sum it up, all in all, I'd say I'm doing pretty well.